Hi, my name is Matt DiGeronimo. Let's get curious together. If the last years have taught us anything, it's this. The people who seem the most certain are often the ones who are completely wrong. Meanwhile, the actual experts, they hesitate, they pause, they say, well, it's complicated. And that can be frustrating, right? We crave clear, simple answers. But what if I told you there are two competing cognitive biases that explain exactly why this happens? One makes people who know the least think they know the most. The other makes people reject simple truths in favor of complicated nonsense. Today we're diving into how the Dunning-Kruger Effect and the complexity bias are wrecking our politics, poisoning our trust in science, and distorting our perception of the truth. Psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger discovered something shocking in 1999. People who lack competence in a subject tend to grossly overestimate their own knowledge. Why? Because they don't know enough to realize how much they don't know. It's like a first-time skier saying, well, how hard could this be? And then they plow into a tree. Meanwhile, the true experts, the people who have spent years studying, research, and thinking deeply on the topic, are often less confident because they understand the complexities, the nuances, and the uncertainties of the issue. The more they know, the more they realize how much they don't know. Now, apply this to politics. Our political discourse is overrun by the loudest, most self-assured voices. And that's a problem, because confidence is often mistaken for competence. We hear someone say, I know exactly how to fix the economy, or I know who's to blame for this crisis. And we think, wow, they sound like they really know their stuff. But do they? Or are they just blissfully ignorant of how complex these issues really are? Imagine taking your car to a mechanic who confidently says, yep, I watched a YouTube video on this, definitely the spark plugs. No diagnostics, no testing, just sheer unearned confidence. Would you trust them? Now replace mechanic with politician or pundit and eliminate the admission of their one YouTube experience, and that's where we are today. We reward those who sound absolutely certain, even when they're wrong, and dismiss those who approach issues with humility. But hold on, and this is where things get messy, because even as Dunning-Kruger fills the airwaves with overconfident nonsense, complexity bias comes in and convinces us that only complex solutions can be valid. Complexity bias is our brain's tendency to overvalue convoluted, jargon-filled explanations over simpler ones. It makes us think that if something is complicated, it must be more intelligent and therefore better. It's why we trust a politician with a 50-step plan over someone who says, Step 1, spend less than we earn. This reminds me of one of my favorite Mark Twain quotes. Please excuse the length of this letter, as I did not have the time to make it shorter. The real genius is making the complex simple. Many experts hide behind complex vernacular and sentence structures. As Richard Feynman said, if you can't explain it to a 7th grader, then you don't understand it. I am grossly guilty of this. As soon as someone starts sounding like an encyclopedia, my brain shuts off. This makes me vulnerable to the Dunning-Kruger effect, but very well armed against the complexity bias. So what can we do about this? Here are 5 things that we can work on together. Number 1, practice intellectual humility. The smartest people constantly question their own assumptions. Arguably, one of the smartest men in recorded history, Socrates, expressed the results of his lifelong pursuit of knowledge in one sentence. All I know is that I know nothing, and even that I am unsure about. We don't have to have an opinion on everything, people. I don't know, or teach me, or tell me more are all acceptable positions. Number 2, recognize Dunning-Kruger in action. If someone claims to have an easy answer to a tough problem, let's be skeptical. Number 3, embrace Occam's razor. The simplest solution that adequately explains a problem is usually the best one. Number 4, engage with different perspectives. If you only listen to people who already agree with you, you'll never grow. Number 5, demand better discourse. Let's stop rewarding confidence over competence. Let's value nuance, critical thinking, and thoughtful debate. At the end of the day, our biggest enemy isn't just ignorance. It's false confidence in ignorance. And our biggest mistake isn't just trusting simple answers. It's rejecting simple truths in favor of unnecessary complexity. So next time someone claims to have all the answers, take a step back and ask, are they a genius or just a really confident beginner? Hey, let's conduct an experiment. Okay, if you're more vulnerable to the Dunning-Kruger Effect, just type Dunning in the comments. If you're more vulnerable to the complexity bias, just type complexity in the comments. My name is Matt DiGeronimo. Until next time.